Welcome to another exciting, thrilling, amazing episode of Badman Reviews. And as you can tell, we're in a new place. 2 TVs. Isn't that amazing? Not really, but let's move on to the topic of the day. Today, we're going to be going back in time to a very historic point in the Crash Bandicoot series. A game titled The Wrath of Cortex. An amazing game that everybody loves. Can't even say that with a straight face. To be truthful, I haven't played this game since I was a kid, and since I was a babby and didn't really know much about gaming, I actually enjoyed this game a little bit. So I'm kind of excited to go back, try it out, and see what I think. So let's hop straight into things and play some Wrath of Cortex. Most of you know the history of Crash by now. 3 fantastic games by Naughty Dog, and then, well, everything else happened. New developers, new ideas, and just so much that didn't work out for Crash. And that's why he's currently in a deep grave with his fans clawing at the dirt to save him. But today, we're heading back in time to the point where most people think everything started to go wrong. It worries me how so many people can believe that this game is the sole purpose that Crash Bandicoot is the mess it is now. I really don't think that's possible, but for all we know, this game is the spawn of the devil and it's gonna blow up my PlayStation as soon as we put it in. But we'll never know until we try. Well, everything seems to be fine, so let's start up the game and see what we can do. Well, when starting up the game, the first thing we encounter is a loading screen. Weirdly enough, the only thing it loads is the intro cards in the title screen. I don't get why those few things need a loading screen, but hey, whatever. Let's just start up this baby and another loading screen. Great. I can see where this is going already. This time, thankfully, the loading screen actually loads something. And that's a cutscene that is way too long for its own good. First off, everyone looks like a deformed monster, especially Cortex. Plus, you can't just say that's what all the graphics look like in this time because tons of other games looked way better. Even before this came out, like geez, even Crash 2 and 3 looked way better than this. But the gist of this cutscene is that Cortex sucks at being evil, so he has to prove how evil he is by making a plan to get rid of Crash. And to do that, we are introduced to the Elementals, 4 masks who all control different elements. But the one that caught my attention is the Fire Elemental, which is voiced by Mark Hamill. You know, the guy who did Skywalker and the Joker from the animated Batman series? Yeah, he plays the Fire Elemental. Why are you doing this game? I don't want your beautiful voice ruined by this experience! But after this cutscene, we get yet another loading screen. And then the game starts up. But not before we are introduced to Crash's brother, I guess. Do experiments created in a lab have brothers? Yeah, that's too deep to ask. Let's just call him by his name, Crunch. He was created by Cortex with the one purpose of defeating Crash. But enough of these creepy cutscenes, let's hop into a level finally, after 2 more loading screens. You have to be kidding me. 1 load for a tiny cutscene and a second load for the actual level. But besides that, this first level actually isn't bad. So I'm not sure what's with all the complaining. It feels like Crash, looks like Crash, and plays like Crash. So not sure where the hate is coming from. But on the other hand, it's the first level, so let's push forward a bit and see what else we have. Well, level 2 is a plane level, which is a bit weird that they would throw something like this in so soon, but let's check out level 3. And it's a ball level. And this continues for a while. Yeah, most of this game isn't even a platformer. It's just vehicle level after vehicle level after vehicle level. It sucks. big time, since a lot of these vehicles are just dumb, like this scooter, or they just aren't fun to use, like the sub, because screw water levels in this game. They drove me insane, and to be serious with you, the levels where you do play as just Crash in a platformer sense are actually pretty good and fun. It's just the fact that over half of the levels have you in these stupid vehicles that really detract from the game. Another issue I noticed is that the game really does give you way too many lives, though you will need them if you suck at the super cheap bosses, but besides that, you'll probably hardly die in the regular levels. But speaking of the bosses, let's talk about them and how much they suck. Like, remember all the cool bosses you know, Tiny, Dingodile, Ripperoo, and more? Well, none of those guys are in this game. Unless you count them as environmental hazards in the ball levels, then no. All you get is Crunch, 4 times. But don't worry, he's different each fight because he has the elemental masks to help him out, but that doesn't change the fact that the fights all suck. The first boss fight has you in the stupid ball, hitting more balls until you've changed the color of all of the balls to your own color. Yeah, fun. Also, Crunch can change the colors too and attack you, making it a pain to do anything. And on top of that, he can move super fast and stop on a dime, unlike you, who controls like garbage. The second boss has you jumping and ducking while crossing platforms to hit Crunch, and once you hit him, he runs away. Do this a few times and he's done. It's just annoying getting to the end and getting hit, then having to restart the whole process all over again. The third boss is probably the most boring, having you run from Crunch till you reach a mech and then spray him with water to damage him. Do this 3 times and you win. Sadly, the third round is a pain in the butt and will often cause you to die multiple times and have to restart the whole fight. Luckily, the fourth fight is actually really good and I was considering putting it in my top 10 Crash bosses list, but decided against it at the last moment. This fight has you in a plane shooting at a wind version of Crunch, and as he attacks you, different parts of his body become weak points and shooting them will cause damage. After shooting and dodging for a while, he will eventually be defeated and all we have left is the final boss. A fight against Cortex and Crunch. And guess what? It's okay, I guess. You have to dodge 4 types of attacks based on the 4 elements and then shoot Crunch to make him attack Cortex so you can attack Cortex. And after a few hits, nothing happens. Yeah. It's really anti-traumatic. Uka Uka picks up Cortex and Crash teleports away, and then we switch to a boring cutscene. What a fitting ending. Seriously, a bad ending for a bad game. I really think the only good part of this game were the sparse platforming levels and the music. Besides that, what we have is a mess of vehicle levels that are not fleshed out at all and just feel clunky, boring, and not fun. If they took their time and made a good platforming experience and threw in a few vehicle moments, I don't think it would have been as bad, but with the million load times, the bad vehicles, and the horrible bosses, the other few good things just don't fix it. Plus, I'm not joking about the load times. You load to open the main menu. You load to start the game. You load before you even get into a level for a cutscene, and then you load again to load the level. And then after the level, you have to load again to get back into the main hub world. And then you do that all over again for every level you play. I wouldn't be surprised if 1/3 or half of this game was just load times. I kind of wanted this game to be decent and maybe I could show off some good things and change some people's minds, but there really wasn't anything I found good besides the few levels with actual decent theming and level design. Overall, Wrath of Cortex was just a mess that didn't know what it wanted to be, which caused it to just be a bad experience. And there were also more gems, relics, and 5 bonus levels, plus a good ending, but why would I want to torture myself to 100% this game when I already hate it at the point I am right now? Well, hopefully the next video will be on a better game. But till then, I'll see all of you guys in the next video. I just want to give a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, I would not be making videos right now, so a huge thanks goes to Rob Liberty, The Game Plank, Thomas Bethel, After End Media, Possum Gamer, Ian Selch, Cray Trey, and Andre Drulard. Thank you so much for your support. It means more than you would ever know.